Hello, 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 YouTube friends and families, fellow stampers. I am Caron Bailey. I am your independent demonstrator with Stampin Up, your ATX stampin' lady here in the beautiful city of Austin, Texas. I'm coming to you live tonight for another moments or hours, some time in the craft room with Caron. You guys, my craft room is my happy place, and so I'm glad that you are here and able to spend a couple of minutes, a couple of hours, maybe an hour and a half with me today as I play in my craft room. If when you pop on, please feel free to say hello to me. Let me know where you're joining me from, and let me know how long you've been stamping. If you're new to stamping, oh, I'm so happy that you've stumbled upon my YouTube channel, and I'm happy to help you learn whatever it is you're wanting to learn. So as usual in the craft room with Caron, this is where I teach you, I try to share with you my love of stamping, and I share tips and tricks that I know with you across my page. All right, you guys, tonight, here's what we're doing. We are working with stencils, embossing paste, and creating backgrounds. I think we're going to finish up the series on background. There's so many other ways that, no, we have one more because it just popped into my head. So we'll do one more series on creating backgrounds, and this time, you guys, we are going to use the method of we call it one sheet wonder. So that's what we're going to share with you on the next episode of creating backgrounds in the craft room. Okay, as always, I do try to share with you any of the updates with Stampin' Up. I share them every video. Sometimes they don't change because they don't change often, but I do have to let all of you, as my new subscribers or my new watchers, know exactly what's going on with Stampin' Up. So let me go and share with you our promotions, you guys. The paper pumpkin kit, the current paper pumpkin kit is the one of our Christmas tags. Make beautiful holiday cards with the kit. You guys, if you're wanting to send Christmas cards and this is your first time wanting to create them on your own, this is the perfect way to do so. Everything comes in the kit. You don't have to worry about buying any additional products. It is all in the kits. And so you're able to create, I believe it's 8 cards. I believe it's 8 cards. I don't have my notes with me, but you can make 8 cards with this kit. So you're already 8 cards in the whole in the ahead of the game. So subscribe to this for this kit. This kit subscription period ends on October 10th, and the new kit starts on the 11th. All right, so the next thing that we've got going on is the special release papers, you guys. On the 6th of September, I believe it was, Stampin' Up released 5 additional papers, designer series paper or specialty papers, as an online exclusive. They will only ever be available in the online exclusives. They are not found in any catalogs. And of course, they are while supply lasts. They are going to be replenished. I believe the next shipment of them comes in October 2nd, I think is the earliest that they come in. So if there was any of the papers that you were totally interested in, just put a little calendar note on your calendar to make sure you check back on or about the 2nd of October. Starting October 3rd, you guys. Okay, hold on. Starting October, we have an offer for you, and I would love it if you would join my team to accept the offer. When you join Stampin' Up between the 3rd of October and October 31st, you have your choice of how you want to build your kit. You can purchase your kit for 35% off. If you're in the US, it's $99 is the cost, includes shipping. So you would purchase your kit for 35% off of $99. You also have the choice of adding 35% more products to your starter kit. Now, and it's still $95. So typically with our on our regular join Stampin' Up offer, for $99 you get $125 worth of products. That is how you join Stampin' Up. So if you do the 35% more products, you'll get 35% more from the 125, not 99s. It's $125 worth of products, but you get 35% more added for the same 99. Either one of those options that you choose, you guys, guess what? Let me tell you what. With either one of those options, you will get a free registration for the on-stage virtual event that's scheduled for November 11th. You guys, that's a $77 value added on top of what you're just getting there, and that's free. Okay, so if you're interested in learning more about how to become a Stampin' Up demonstrator and to save minimum 20%, and you guys, 20% is minimum. You can get up to 25% off. For your own shopping pleasure, reach out to me and I will definitely let you know how you're able to do that. Okay, and guess what, you guys, we have October 7th, World Card Making Day. Join me next Saturday, not tomorrow, but next Saturday for World Card Making Day with Stampin' Up from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is a completely virtual event for demonstrators and for our customers, anybody that loves stamping and Stampin' Up. You register. There are 3 bundles, we're going to make 3 cards in that 3-hour time period, or in that 3-hour time frame. We're going to make 3 cards, and the featured products include Circle Sayings bundle, the Earth and Elegance bundle, and the Heartfelt Hexagon bundle. Okay, I just got this bundle. I haven't shared it with you guys. I haven't created with it yet, but I'm definitely going to show you what I'm going to create with this card. I got to have something ready for the virtual event. So those are our promotions for the end of the season. For the end of the season. For Lord, those are our promotions, current promotions, and things happening at Stampin' Up right now. I am ready to jump right in and get started to make cards. So here we go. Oh, before I do, if this is your first time joining me here, if this is your first time joining me on my YouTube channel, let me say welcome. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for stopping in. I hope you like what you see, and therefore, if you haven't been a subscriber, that you will decide to subscribe with me to my channel so I can bring you more crafty content. Okay, if you're a returning stamper, I hope you're ready, and let's get started to create some backgrounds with stencils and embossing paste. So what are we going to need tonight? Obviously, we're going to need some cardstock, and I have regular basic white cardstock. We're going to need some stencils. We're going to need some tools. We got some spatulas here that we're going to need, right? And I have this other little one that I got. So we're going to use a couple of spatulas. And I have some other ones if I need to change colors. We're going to need, you're going to have, off to the side here, I have a little thing of water, okay? And this is going to make sure that we clean our embossing paste off the tools like fairly quickly, okay? So I hope I don't make a mess with water over here, y'all, because that in and of itself is very easy to do. Okay, you're also going to need some paper towels. You're going to need some embossing paste, and this is regular embossing paste. It's just white, and I found this one, and you see the green label, so you know it's old, right? Older. And this one is silver embossing paste. Stampin' Up also has a glimmer embossing paste, and I'm not sure where I put that. And because I'm not sure where I put it, we're not going to work with it. And I have some other off-brand products that I'm going to use tonight. to help us with our projects. Okay, so let's get, oh, let me share with you. So this is the stencil that I'm gonna use. So I got this die. I'm not sure where the heck I got this die. And I don't really like to mess up my Stampin' Up things, even though they're meant to be. But I really love this die. And what I did with it, I had some Mylar paper, and that's the product that's used to create stencils. So I got some Mylar from somewhere, not sure where, and so I created my own stencil with this. Now, keep in mind, right, you guys, you can create stencils with any dies that you have, okay? It's not just Stampin' Up dies, it's not just other companies' dies. If you have a stencil, that a die that you like, something like this, provided you have, actually, you don't even need Mylar. You can do it right out of regular cardstock. Of course, you understand that that cardstock is not going to last for any length of time. It is not going to last for any length of time. Okay, so that, as long as you understand that, you should be fine. Okay, so this is a stencil that I'm going to use mostly for tonight. So the method I'm going to use tonight is going to be, the first method is going to be a mixture of ink blending and embossing paste. Now I love this method as well. It's very simple. And all I'm going to do with this at this point is I'm just going to take some masking tape. This is Post-it tape, I'm sorry. This is Post-it tape. And I'm going to kind of stick this down a little bit. When I say stick it down, put it in place where I want it to be, okay? Now I have to be careful. I'm going to put it and of course with this particular die I can hold on to it as well, okay? But I'm going to put some embossing, some Post-it tape on here just to help me keep things in place just a little bit, okay? Now I'm going to keep my flowers in this one. Obviously I'm going to do some green for my leaves, and I'm going to do what color do I want my flowers? If you're watching, what color do you want to do flowers? I think I want to do some okay, how about we do some lemon lolly and wild wheat? Those are the colors that we're going to go with today. I think that'll make a nice flower. And then let's go with garden green for our leaves. I think that's our color palette for this one. So let me move some things out of the way. We don't need our paste just yet. So we're going to go grab a blending brush for our yellows. And I think I'm going to stick with the brushes. And I'm only debating because there's some smaller areas in here that I just very well might need to bring my little mascara brushes in to get some color going. You also need a silicone mat or a glass mat. I find it's easier. And then we're just going to add our color. Okay. So we're going to take our brush and blend the larger areas. We're going to do those first. And we're just going to use straight from our die. I'm going to use the stencil for when I'm doing the embossing paste. Now, depending on the color palette that I've chosen, and with this particular one, you don't have to be really concerned about the yellow, because I think the yellow and the green, they complement. And so it should be fine if you kind of run over into the leafy area just a little bit, because the lightness of the yellow will cover. Mm-hmm. I got a little careless up there, but that's okay. I was not as careful as I should be, which is why the smaller areas I will tend to switch to an actual one of the makeup the eyelash cleaners, because then you can get right into the nitty-gritty areas without worrying about blending and adding color outside. Okay, so now I'm gonna actually go and grab one of the, because I'm going to switch to the wild wheat now. If you have finger daubers, use your finger daubers. Because not everybody will have the eyelash cleaners. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I shared these with you a little while ago. You can also use paint brushes to get into more detailed areas if that's something you are wanting to do. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to take some of the wild wheat, and that's going to be my darker area. That's where I'm going to add a little bit of highlight. Definitely staying in the center of the flower, but just a little bit more out. Okay. I'm gonna go back in eventually with the lemon lolly. And I used the actual dye for the color, because I think the color is going to be a little bit easier to clean off of the dye. It's going to be easy to clean off of the stencils, but I didn't want to have to wait to wash and dry. Okay. You can dab the color in if that's what you're wanting to do. And then when you think you've got color exactly where you want for it to be, I'm going to go back in, let that dry a little bit because I want to minimize transfer. And then I'm going to go right back over the yellow just to blend the color out. Depending on what you're wanting to do, you could have used a third color. I could see Cajun Craze in here. Just to blend the color out. Perfect. So we're done with that, and then I'm going to go in with my green. And for the green, I'm going to use another brush. You know, I should have checked in here. I have a yellow already. So I'm going to keep this one and make that one my wild wheat brush. Okay, and so now we're just going to add our leaf. And I'm not being particularly careful. I'm not. Here's some green right here, some leaves. There we go. You can dab your color in. Here's an example of dabbing the color in like I'm doing here. Okay. And then when we're done with adding all of our color, we'll just make sure at this point that we grab a little bit of an alcohol pad. Hey Tamika, how are you today? So here we have, now we've got our stencil down, and you guys, we can actually leave this as is. I mean, we have got a beautiful image as is, and we can make this a beautiful card front, add a sentiment, maybe add a ribbon, and call this a little bit of a card front. So we're gonna step this up just a little bit. Now we've already got our stencil, and we know our stencil should fit perfectly. So all we're gonna do is line this up again. Okay. Okay. And then let me grab my little strips of Post-it tape. And then I'm just gonna come in with the embossing paste. Oops. And with my spatula, go right over oops. Just take the embossing paste. I'm gonna just wipe it on there like so. And I want to make sure it's smooth and even. Okay. You don't really need a lot, y'all. Tips for using embossing paste: make sure that your oops, I'm trying to get there. Make sure that you use very thin coat, because you don't want it to be too thick. That's the first tip. While you don't have to use watercolor paper, that might be an option for you, or some thicker cardstock. I tell you, when it comes to doing coloring and other things, any kind of medium. I find that talking and is not as easy as some of the more seasoned demonstrators make it look. All right, so if you got out of the lines, just really take the spatula and kind of grab that real quick before it sets. All right. Keep the foil on. I keep the foil on because I don't want it to harden. And then immediately after I'm done with this, I'm going to lift it and put it in water because I don't want the embossing paste to sit on the stencil. It'll dry. Okay. Now, why did I, can you see, why did I use the embossing paste? You guys, when we just had the color was fine. It was really flat, okay? So when we added the embossing paste, we now have a level of texture that's on this, on our flower. So as it dries and hardens, there'll be a whole layer of texture on here. And I don't know if you can see it if we get, oh, let me turn my light off. Can you see it if I turn the light off? The texture now that's in the flower versus before, okay? So we're gonna put this aside and let this sit, and we're gonna work on our next background. It is a wet medium, and I say wet, it's not like water, but it is not dry per se. So you gotta let it sit for a minute before you try to do anything else with it, okay? So we're not gonna need our dye anymore. So before I became so there's a couple of ways to make colored glimmer paste, okay? Like I said, Stampin' Up has a shimmer paste. I don't have it, but you can use the shimmer paste and use several drops of the re-inkers. I don't have the shimmer paste, so I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to use some others. So my color palette today is pinks. I'm going to make some pink flowers and some green leaves because leaves are green. So this is our color. So let's get another piece of cardstock. And I think our stencil should be kind of clean now. Let's clean our stuff, dry it off. But we have some more palette knives, so we don't need to reuse this one, but we will need to reuse our stencil. So let's grab that. Okay. So I'm hoping tonight that I'll be able to make that card for you. Last week, or the last time we did the stencil class, y'all, I thought I was gonna go off camera and make some cards, and y'all, I have just not had the opportunity to do that. So I'm just gonna do 2 processes tonight with the stencils, and then hopefully it dries well enough that we can go on and create some cards with them. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to change the orientation of this. Okay. I'm going to put this way. And because of how I do things, I need for it to be this way. I need my cardstock to be that way. Okay. And then I want to make sure that the entire floral image is on here. And I definitely need to get some of the leaves on here because that's part of what we're showing today, right? So we're going to line the paper up. Okay. Make sure that stays in place. Then I'm going to put our stencil on like so. And then grab, y'all, I committed to a garage sale tomorrow. And who knows exactly how much work goes into a garage sale? Do y'all know exactly how much work goes into a garage sale? And guess who is so not prepared for a garage sale tomorrow? Me. I am like not even close to being ready for a garage sale. So I don't know. I just might back out and just donate everything to Goodwill and call that a day. I just, it is what it is. I'm just not ready. All right, so I'm going to start, of course, with our floral images. And I always like to have, if I can make it happen, some highlights. Again, I don't discard the little foil piece in there. And I start with little bits. Okay. And this time I'm just gonna go, because the embossing powder is colored, I don't need to add any base color to the cardstock. I'm trying not to go outside of the lines. Make sure that when the tip is, again, making sure that you smooth the paste out. You don't want it to be rigid or have any sort of bumps and lumps in the paste. Okay, when you apply it to the image, you want for it to be very smooth in its application. Okay, there's one. So this is another method of coloring. And if you overlap in your colors, that's fine. And I'm doing the big colors first, and then everything in the pink, because I want to go ahead and add over that the maroon color, the pink punch, to get that added dimension going on our flowers. Okay, do the same on this one. Like so. Got one more over here. And working on a silicone or a glass mat just makes cleanup a little bit easier, okay? Okay. I'm gonna grab our pink glitter. Uh-oh. We might not be using this. This is what happens when you don't leave the lid on. We may just not be using this at all because it's so hard in here. We might have to throw that out. I'll leave a little bit of water in there. I'm just gonna do the whole flower in pink, y'all. That's exactly why. Hopefully I didn't do the same with this green. I don't do embossing paste as often, so I am my style of crafting is I love immediate gratification. What does that mean? Is like I love to be able to um, use my product as soon as I'm done. And sometimes with embossing paste, you might have to let it sit for a little bit. I'm going to put that back in there. Okay. Now, embossing paste is beautiful as well, especially with Christmas coming, y'all. And you want to do something with your Christmas trees. Oh boy. You want to do a little something with your Christmas trees. Give them a little glitter and shine. This would be something that you could definitely use for that purpose. Some glitter paste or glimmer paste. Grab the if you want shimmer, then of course you use the shimmer paste from Stampin' Up. And add if you wanted to do garden green, then you add a little garden green re-inker. If you wanted it to be the old olive, then you add the old olive re-inker. Whichever shade of green you wanted to add, you just add 1 or 2 drops, depending on how dark you wanted it to be, to the shimmer paste or the regular paste, whichever one you wanted. And there you have it. Apply that to your stenciled item. To create your holiday trees that have a little bit of sparkle and shine. It's already done. So silicone mat is perfect again for this process, just for easy cleanup. There we go. I got a little bit in the pink. And there you have that. All right, so now we're just gonna remove the stencil. Oops. And there we have. Now I would have preferred if I had, when we done this, if we had the second layer of color, but we know what happened there. And now we're gonna let this dry, and then I'm gonna create this into a card. So there we go. Okay. Let's check on the other stencil and see what we can make there. Let me just move this water out of the way right now, because with my luck, what will I do? With my luck, I will knock it over, create a mess that I don't need and cannot afford on my workstation. So give me 1 minute. Let me take that out of the way, and I'll be right back. All right, so we are back. All right, so let's make sure our first panel is fairly dry. Can you hear that? That's just how much texture it is in this. Okay, so this is perfect. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this down to create a panel. That is 4 by 5 1/4. And I want to trim on both ends. So I'm gonna make this 4 1/8 on this side. And then trim the rest on this side to make a 4. Okay. And then need this to be 5 1/4 because it's 5 1/2 now. So I'm gonna trim this to 5 3/8 on one side, and then 5 1/4 on the other side. So now we have our 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel. So we've got to come up with a sentiment for our card. Now what sentiment are we going to use? Well, we always need birthdays, and y'all, I'm going back into the recesses one because it was right there. And I'm gonna stamp, this is from the Friendly Hello. This was a celebration stamp set from a while back, so I'm gonna use this one. And I'm going to use the Hello Friend. Do I want to use the big Hello Friend? Because I don't really want to cover up a whole bunch of... I don't. I like it. I challenge myself, you guys, to use my stamp sets. There are some demonstrators, and you guys, I'm never going to tell you that you can't use any of your older products. I have so many stamp sets that I absolutely love that I either never got to use, and I would never tell you that you had to get rid of your stuff. I'm going to use my stamps. Unfortunately, I will let you know if they're retired or anything like that, and that just means you can't get them. But you can use anything that you have in your stash that's similar to recreate or create this card. Now, here's a question that I'm asking you guys. Do we want to just stamp the birthday on here? Here's what I'm seeing. Tell me if you like this idea. And now I'm thinking I do want that Hello Friend. A strip of black cardstock embossed with white. What do you think about that? Or even, ooh, I know what I'm gonna do. Sometimes the ideas just come to me. I have this little tiny strip of, oh, it's too small. It's too small. Oh, this one might work too. Early Espresso. And I'm going to stamp and emboss with white ink. Or white embossing powder. Trying to find my Versamark. All right. I have never ever claimed to be a very neat stamper, y'all. Just so you know this, I've never ever made that claim. Not one single day in my life, because I'm not. I am not. So let me grab that out. Let me grab the white embossing paste. Or powder, I should say. Okay. Grab my embossing buddy. Priming my stamp. That's all I'm doing is priming the stamp. And all I'm saying on this one is hope you have the best birthday. Now you're not going to be able to see this part until the embossing powder gets added to it. Unfortunately, let me find a piece of scrap so I can prime it some more. Yeah, that's good. It's primed. So let's just add this. And I tend to stamp in the middle, especially if I don't know what orientation I'm wanting my sentiment to be. And by that I mean, I don't know whether I want it to be more to the right, more to the left. I'm unsure as to what I'm doing with it, so I'm just going to stamp it in the middle. That way I can give myself options at the end of the day. Because we all need options, right? Trying to find my little spoon here. Oh, fell on the floor, it did, but there's one in here. So we did have fairly good coverage with the embossing powder, right? As you can see. Go in with my makeup brush here and dust off any excess that we might have. Hey, do y'all have a mom like mine? I love my mom to death, y'all. So my mom messages me the other day. She does this on Facebook, by the way. And she says, let me turn the heat tool on and get this embossed. So my mom messages me, and like I said, she did this on Facebook, by the way. Make sure that's dry. And she says, keep in mind, I normally send my mom every so often. I just box up a set of cards and I randomly send them to my mom. You know, she loves to give them out at church. to her friends and her family, the congregation, etc. at the church. So that's what my mom does. Anyway, so something's happening, she says. Now keep in mind, this was like a day. My mom lives, we're from the islands, right? The Caribbean, I should say. Yeah, the Caribbean, right? And so she says to me, I need a card and I need it, and you have to send it so that I get it from by the 7th, I think she said, or by the 10th. I can't remember which one. And in my head, I said, Mom, you have got to be kidding. Right? Not because I won't send my mom a card. That's not the point. Do y'all send stuff continental US to continental US? And how long exactly does that take? Okay. Well, imagine having to send that same thing to the Caribbean. And I'm like, Mom, you know, if you needed this thing like yesterday, you kind of should have told me that yesterday. Or a couple days before yesterday. You know what I mean? So now I'm about to do my best. I don't even try to send stuff priority mail anymore. Because you pay the price for priority mail, and guess what? It still gets there a week or two later. So I'm like, I'm not doing that. So now my mom is wanting me to figure out the logistics here of trying to get this thing to, I think I want it offset though. I don't want it completely in the middle. What do you think? I don't want it to be like the whole banner. I don't want it to do that. I think I just want it here. Tamika, do you have a thought? What do you think? Because I really don't want to cover up the flowers. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this a little bit closer, narrow my real estate a little bit, and then I'm going to banner my ends. Let me know if you have a thought, Tamika, about what you think I should do with this banner or this sentiment. So we're just going to make sure at this point that the Alright, so I've already figured this out. Or I've already decided what I'm doing with that. Alright. So this is what I'm going to end up doing. And I think we're going to put it right here. Make sure it lines up evenly. Am I even here? I'm going to put it here. But I'm going to banner my end. Or flag my end. Now, Stampin' Up, we do have a punch that will flag the end. And this is the Banners Pick a Punch label punch, right? And so I want to banner my end, flag my end. So I need to use that side, this side right here. Now the side that I want to banner or flag, I'm just going to make sure it's in here, that it's kind of even with the notch. And then punch it. See, even when I try, I don't line things up well enough. But it's good enough for government work, like we say. And now I'm just going to put this looking for some dimensionals here. Got the mini ones. Anybody want to guess how many dimensionals I'm going to use today? On this 1 sentiment strip? I would have actually used 10, but and so I am going to make sure. So the tools that are currently in Stampin' Up! With our banners, pick a punch, our take your pick tool. You guys, this is an awesome tool to have. Make sure this is lined up. The new swap for Sweet Signature Stamping Card Swappers is live, or actually you have up until the 8th. I'm sorry. Sign up by the 8th for the swap. Mail your cards by the 22nd for the swap. Just head on over to my Facebook page and find out all the information about the October swap. It is going to be a fancy fold. I give you the template. The measurements. What you create from that measurement and that template is completely up to you, which is where the creativity comes in. Okay. Then we're just going to line this up. Oh, before we do that, I need to find, I should have done it before, but I'm going to go in with my wild wheat marker. And I'm going to carefully add some color. Seems as if my desktop has frozen. There we go. Brought back to life. Now when you look at this card, you will see a hint of color. So it should look like a border. I could have used the early espresso. The same color I used for the sentiment. But I decided to use the wild wheat. All right, the next event we have coming up, don't forget on the second Sunday of the month, which is October 8th, we will be doing our roll of the die. I'm doing it a little different this month. I'm always changing, you guys. As I see something or a process that I think will work better, I am always willing to consider that as an option for what I'm going to do. So the change that we have, normally we would do back to back, but what's gonna happen is all of the videos are going to be in one of my playlists. You'll be able to see the playlist on our Facebook page. I'm sorry, my YouTube channel. You'll see that specific. I'm looking for my adhesive foam sheets, y'all. My dimensionals, and so all of the videos will be available at one time, which will be 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. But because they're going to be in that playlist, you'll be able to see them one right after the other. Okay? I thought that made sense. I saw a fellow demonstrator who does swaps, and that's how she did it. And I'm like, I think that makes sense. So, and I believe this month there will be 5 demonstrators participating in the hop. And if I remember from memory, we've got the projects that we make have to feature the in colors. And the in colors, you know, are boho blue, wild wheat, copper clay, moody mauve, mauve, and pebbled path. Those are the in colors. They're also parakeet party, sweet sorbet, Tahitian tide, starry sky, and orchid oasis. Those are also in colors. Okay, and then so it's in colors. Got to do a little bit of sponging. We've got to use embellishments. And then what's the other thing? There's 5 of them. Oh yeah, Val last time said we could not make a standard size card. So we can't make an A2 size card. It can be a 5x7 card. It can be a slimline card. It just cannot be an A2 card. Okay, has to be a fun fold, which kind of makes it a little bit easier. Right? All right, almost done with this first card. Did I get all the elements? Oh, and masculine. I almost forgot that. It has to be a masculine card. Do you guys have any ideas? What are your thoughts? I know we have a couple of masculine stamp sets, so I'll probably use that. I know we have some the Let's Go Fishing Designer Series paper. We can make that masculine. I know, so we've got some choices as far as we've got some choices. Stamp sets. Let's see. What do you think we can use for stamp sets? Okay. Y'all, and there we have card number 1. So this is our first card that we made with our stencil. I think we're good and dry here. But I wanted this to be, this is not as clean and neat as I thought it was going to be, but I'm still going to trim it down and we're still going to make a card with it. So I'm going to trim this to 3 3/4. By 5. Okay. And because I already have that stamp set out, that's kind of what I'm going to use. That is, if I can remember where I just put the darn thing. Okay, so guys, here's the thing that I can tell you, right? Don't get old. Don't get old, okay? My brain is like almost completely fried. I don't know how I do well in school at all. I don't know how I do well in school. I don't. And I do well in school. I forget things. If it's not written down, I will forget it. Absolutely, I will forget it. You guys saw that I just used that stamp set and I have no idea where I put it. None whatsoever. Okay. So now we've got to fall back and find another sentiment for this card. Well, gosh darn it. This is like not fun anymore. It is so not funny. Oh, there we go. Goodness gravy. So we're going to bring this guy back in here. Our hello friend. I'm not going to emboss this time, although I normally would. But I'm not going to emboss it. But I am going to stamp it in black. I'm going to offset it. Maybe I should stamp it up. Maybe I should heat emboss it. line it up. And then I gotta go figure out what I'm doing about this garage sale. Oh my gosh. Got me in a world of panic at this point. Alright, so let's go ahead and put our sentiment in place. Make sure we have good heat transfer, or ink transfer, not heat transfer. Grab us our clear embossing powder. When you think of embellishing, do you think of heat embossing as an embellishment? I do. I tend to think of it as embossing, embellishment. So there we have that. Do you see that extra texture on there? And then I'm going to find me some ribbon. This is what happens when you don't think through your projects, okay? When you don't think through your projects, you never have everything at your fingertips that you need to create your project, ever. So now I'm gonna go try to find me some ribbon, and I need my little punch. If I can find my punch. That's too small. All right, so now let's see if I have some ribbon lying around here somewhere. I just put away ribbon today. Hopefully there was a pack that I forgot somewhere. Hopefully there was a set of ribbon that I forgot somewhere that'll work with this card. I don't think so. Alright, let me pop up again and see if I can grab me some ribbon that coordinates with this project. Alright, I'll be right back. It's too peach. It's too peach. Alrighty. Found a little bit of ribbon, so I think I'm going to try this one and see if I like it. Oh, and it doesn't seem bad. Okay. So I'm going to use this ribbon. And I'm just going to tie a little bit of a bow. And y'all, ain't nobody said that I was the best bow tire. But here we go. I just don't know how people make it look so easy. Huh. Right? And then we're just gonna adjust these bows. The loops, we don't want, I don't want too big of a loop. So let's adjust our loops just a little bit more. That side seems a little bit bigger. So let's just keep adjusting. So as always, you guys, if there's any products, Stampin' Up products that you see that I'm using tonight that you would love to have, I sure would love it if you would shop in my online store. My online store is www.sweetsignatures.stampinup.net. If you need any assistance placing your order, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to help you with making your purchases. If you are interested in joining Stampin' Up and being a member of my team, I would love to have you. Again, there's my information as to how you can reach out to me at any time. I will respond to you as soon as I can, okay? All right, so we have our bow. Okay. Then we're just gonna trim this guy off. Oh, I'm not gonna mess with that scissors because we know that's not gonna work. Okay. And I am just gonna put this guy right here. Just like so. I'll see now my loop is still too big for where I want my bow to go. It's a lot of adjusting that you have to do when you have a little bit of a vision as to where you want things to be. Right? So if I want this here, see how big this loop is right there? I don't want that loop to be that big. So let's make this smaller. And the smaller we make it, that's fine. There we go. I think now we're perfect. All right. Now I'm just going to grab a glue dot. Or two. Okay. Well, duh. No wonder it didn't want to move. And I want my bow to be right about here. So I am going to put about 3 glue dots right here in this area. Then I'm going to put this bow right where I want for it to be. And now that the bow is in place, we have our loops the right size. Now I'm going to trim the legs. All right, so there we have our card. There we go. And so now we're just going to grab a piece of cardstock. I have color. I always have cardstock out, and now I can't put my finger on it. We have a piece of Parakeet Party that just got drafted to finish our card. This was definitely a stamp create on the fly. So we're creating on the fly in the craft room today. Okay. Get our little dimensionals going on this one. Using our awesome foam tape. And then we'll be finished with this card as well. There's still time to make a purchase to be entered into the September shoppers giveaway. Place an order. When you place an order of any size in my online store using the September host code, you will be entered into the drawing to win a prize. Okay. And the September drawing is a card kit. Actually, that's your gift with purchase. Everybody gets that, gift with purchase. But everybody gets a chance to enter the drawing to win a prize, a special prize. All right. So we did create this one on a fly, using whatever products we had around. And so this is just to show you that you, when you sit to create, you really don't need to have, you know, your card fully thought out. It's nice if you do, but you don't have to. And you can create and pull with what you have laying around to create some awesome inspiration. So I'm hoping that the cards created tonight ooh, what happened here? Gave you a little bit of inspiration on how to create on the fly, how to create backgrounds with stencils and embossing pastes, like we did tonight. And here are the two cards that we created for our stenciled and embossing paste cards. You guys, thank you for joining me this evening. I really appreciate any time that you spend with me. Come on back and join me next week for more creativity in the craft room with Caron. On that note, you guys have a very good night and happy stamping.